All right, seventh grade, I appreciate it. Again, when I have you here and we have the opportunity to have somebody from the community come in and have a conversation, I expect Shawnee to be at their best. So I appreciate how you got quiet. Again, we call this our Level Up series. We have had the 8th grade down here to talk about a topic, and now we're going to have the 7th grade down here to talk about a particular topic. Today, the topic that we're talking about is accountability. And that's something when we talk about leveling up and getting ready for the next level, for you guys to get ready for 8th grade, accountability is a big part of that. So I have Dr. Griffin here. He is from the Office of Student and Staff Relation. And that is just really somebody who's really connecting what we do with the adults in our lives and how we're able to navigate getting older, navigate the next grade. And then again, you understand my purpose because we talk about it all the time. My job is to get you ready for 8th grade and then high school, right? So I appreciate it. So again, I expect your attention to be right here. Let's give a round of applause for Dr. Griffin.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Give me a little bit more than that. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. It's good to be back here at Shawnee. I had the opportunity to talk to a few folks up here. Yes, I'm the same guy from last month. You all were in the classroom last time, and I talked to 8th graders here in the gym. And I'm glad that you all have the opportunity to be here with me today. Just a little bit about me, in case you forgot. While I am currently the Director of Student and Staff Relations, my most recent post is the principal at Black Hawk Middle School. And before that, I ran Nebraska for a little bit. I also was an assistant principal at Snyder. But I started my career in Fort Wayne Community Schools over a decade ago as a teacher at Southside High School. So I've been around for a while, very familiar with Fort Wayne Community Schools, how we do things. And I'm looking forward to hanging out with you today. As Mr. T said, we're going to talk about accountability today, but before we get into our conversation, I want to answer this question for you. Why are we here? And I know that your teachers, staff members have brought you here for a specific reason, but I want to ask you to do something for me to make sure that our time together is worthwhile. I want you to give me your undivided attention. Because when I think about why we are here today, I want to give you things, accountability, leadership, other things we're going to talk about in the future. I want to give you things that's going to make you better. When you think about the people you care about in your life, when you think about your personal goals, when you think about what you aspire to be in life, all of that to a degree starts now. So don't just think about it in the realm of, oh, I'm going to get straight A's, or this is for kids who want to go to college. I'm going to give you things. My goal is to give you things that are going to help you in life. Accountability is going to help you in life. Leadership is going to help you in life. If you got younger siblings, older siblings, parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles that you want to help, lessons like today are going to help you do that. So with that being said, I want to remind us, we talked about student leadership last time. And I want to reinforce this. Anybody want to tell me why it's important for me to repeat myself whenever I come back? Who wants to tell me why it's important for me to repeat myself? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so what she said was so people can learn, they can get it, and they can keep it as they navigate life. If I say it one time, you may forget. So certain things you will hear me say multiple times because I want to make sure you get it. Let's read it. A student who attempts to make a positive impact on their school while positively influencing others to consider what is right. Here's the thing. We can't make people do anything. But the decisions that we make, how we engage with others, we can help them consider making the right choice. You're only responsible for you. I can't make you do anything. You can't make your peers do anything, but you are in control of yourself. And when you think about what you are in control of, think about the influence it can have on others. Last time we talked about leadership characteristics, standing for something, being honest, being cooperative, and being courageous. Standing for something, being honest, being cooperative, being courageous. All right, let's get to it. Today we're talking about accountability. Accountability is something that we all need. I don't care what you aspire to be in life. I don't care what you want to accomplish in life. If you want something more than what you have now, you need accountability. Be it others holding you accountable or you holding yourself accountable. Let's define it. Who got a big booming voice that can read this for me real quick? Go ahead. You raised your hand. Don't back out on me now, man. Who has a good booming voice that can read this for me? Yep, right here. Stand up, loud and proud. What is accountability? Go ahead. Hold on. We're not snickering because he was brave enough and courageous enough to read in front of you all. We don't do that here. I know that for a fact because I know how Mr. T rolls. So because he was courageous enough to stand up and read it, if anything else, we applaud him when he's done. But we don't get to laugh and point and snicker because you weren't brave enough to stand up and read it. Go ahead.
It is the decision to acknowledge what you've done and accept whatever comes with it.
Thank you very much. Y'all show him some love. Own words, someone tell me what this means. How do you interpret this in your own words? It is the decision to acknowledge what you've done and accept whatever comes with the decision that we've made. What does that mean to us in our own words? Yes.
Basically, you decide I can't figure out my words.
You're good. Somebody else want to give it a try? Thank you. Yes. Speak up for me just a little bit.
You can accept what comes to you in life.
So just accepting what comes to you in life based off the choices that we've made. Let's look at some characteristics on what accountability looks like. Characteristic number one, it is a desire. You must have the desire to be better. I can't hold you accountable if you don't want to be better. So here's what I need from you to make sure that it's ingrained. Ladies, I need your attention, please. To make sure it's ingrained in your mind, there's a quote at the beginning of every slide, and the first one is, I want to do better. I want to be better. So say that with me. 1, 2, 3. I want to be better. 1, 2, 3. I want to be better. I want to be better. Good. So when we say I want to be better, you're saying, in my wanting to be better, I'm giving people permission around me to hold me accountable. Look at the phrase I have here on the screen. Those who want to be better must first accept there is something to improve. Those who want to be better must first accept that there is something to improve. What does that mean? Yes. You said what now? We're not perfect. And if I'm not perfect, am I always aware of the things I'm not good at? No. So those things that I'm not aware of, where does accountability come in? Those are people say, hey, this is something you can work on. But we have to want to get better. We must first acknowledge that we're not perfect. And here's the thing, here's the secret. We may not ever reach the level of perfection that we want to be, but guess what? Everybody in this room has the potential to be better. Everybody in this room has the potential to accomplish more than what your reality is now. One more time, I want to be better. 1, 2, 3. Characteristic number 2. We saw it the first conversation. We're going to hear it again. Characteristic number 2, honesty. What does it mean to be honest? Let's try it first before I put it up there on the screen. Right here in the red. Loud and proud. To tell the truth. Somebody on this side. What does honesty mean? Yes, ma'am, all the way at the top. Being truthful. Is it, let's be honest, this is a family discussion. Is it always easy to tell the truth? No, it's not. Why is it hard sometimes to tell the truth? You don't want to get in trouble. Let's keep it real. Why else is it hard to tell the truth sometimes? Yes. Sometimes the truth can hurt. Here's what honesty means in regards to accountability. I almost messed up. 1, 2, 3. Let's say it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I will be honest. If you did it, own it. If they did it, help them own it. Now, I understand some of you thought of a word that begins with an S. Man, if I ain't do it, what do we say? I ain't gonna what? I ain't gonna snitch. I get it. I ain't gonna say, I ain't do it, I can't tell you who did it. I ain't gonna tell you who did it. Okay. So you're not lying technically, but accountability is not saying, I know who did it, but you're not encouraging the person not to own up to what they did. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen made time and time again is an individual will say they didn't do it, but they won't help those who need to know who did it figure out who did it. So what could happen if you're not willing to tell the truth? What could happen to you potentially? Yeah. You can get in trouble for something you didn't do. You can get in trouble for something you didn't do. What else could happen? Yes. You can have a bunch of guilt. Hey, man, I know who did it. And especially if it's a situation where the person wasn't held accountable, you knew what happened, and then things go from bad to worse and nobody knows who's responsible for it because we didn't say anything. So if you did it, own it. If they did it, help them own it. Let's be honest, how many of us, it's hard to say, that's my fault? I appreciate the honesty. Let's talk about that for a second. Why is it hard to say, yo, that's my fault, that's on me? New voices. Why is it? Yeah, the black sweatshirt, loud and proud. Say it one more time, a little louder for me. It may ruin something. If I did it, then if I cheated on the test, if it's my fault, if it's on me that the person took my answers and I knew about it, that could jeopardize what I'm involved with. Why else is it hard for us to say, that's my fault? It may be embarrassing. We'll take one more. Yes. Yep. Some people may associate you to the mistake or the decision that was made. This is why we have to give each other grace to make mistakes. When we own it, it's a lot easier to do that. Characteristic number 3. Trustworthy. This is perfect. What does it mean to be trustworthy? Before I put the definition on the screen. Yes. Speak up for me just a little bit. You can trust that individual. All right, let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. I am trustworthy. You're saying I can be trusted. I'll wait. I'm not going to fight for your attention. I am trustworthy. If you can be trusted to hold yourself accountable, you can be trusted with almost anything. I love this quote. Love this thought. When I wrote it down, it came to my mind. I was like, oh, we're going to spend a little time with this one. If you can be trusted to hold yourself accountable, you can be trusted with almost anything. What does this mean? Dr. Griffin, it sounds like a cool quote, but what does this mean? Who wants to tackle this one for me? Yeah, loud and proud. If you can be honest with yourself, you can be honest with others. I agree with that. But think about how others might perceive me when it's time to trust me, if I can hold myself accountable first. What is this? Let's build on that. If I can hold myself accountable, then others can trust me with almost anything. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say I make a mistake and I don't own it. How does that affect people's ability to believe me moving forward? What does that do to their ability to believe me moving forward? Will they believe me if I didn't own it the first time? Probably not. But if I say, oh, this is on me, this is my fault, nobody else but me, moving forward, when it's time for other responsibilities, when it's time for other tasks, when I have other things that I have to do, even though I made a mistake the first time and I owned it, when it's time to trust me again, even though I made a mistake, can the person trust me? Yeah. Because I messed up, and I can say I messed up, and I can give you another task, because if you messed up the first time and you acknowledged it, I know I can give you something else, and if things go wrong, you'll be honest about it. How many of you can say, this is a tricky one. How many of you can say at least 2 of your teachers trust you? Raise your hand. Ooh, it's not. You don't have at least 2 teachers that trust you? Okay, that's the majority of your hands. How many of you can say all of your teachers trust you? Okay. How do you know they trust you? Hold on, we're going to wait until we get quiet down here. Speak up. They trust you because they listen to you. You listen to them. Who else can give some evidence that your teachers trust you? Yes.
Because you're respectful to them, and like whenever you do something wrong, like they're okay with it, because like you normally don't do stuff, but when you do, you like acknowledge it.
Awesome. So they respect you because when you mess up and you acknowledge and say this on me, the respect actually increases. I saw a couple hands over here. New voices, new voices. I appreciate. Go ahead, black hoodie. Speak up for me just a little bit.
They let you do other work in the class.
They let you do other work in their class, and so what you're saying is they can trust you to do other things when you're done with your work. Awesome. We'll take one more right here.
They trust us because we listen and we also do our work.
Okay. So when you listen, you do your work, and you tell the truth, you feel your teachers can trust you. Awesome. Teachable. I'm teachable. What does this mean? There's another word that comes to mind, coachable, teachable. Yes. Speak up for me just a little bit.
Able to cooperate with the things that you do.
Yeah, I love that. Able to cooperate with the things people tell you to do when they tell you to do it. This is a phrase, you don't have to repeat this, but when someone is holding you accountable, all you have to do is say something like this or similar to this: thanks for the feedback. Thanks for the feedback. Thank you. You don't have to repeat me, but they just add this to your vocabulary. When someone's holding you accountable because they want you to be better, they want you to do more, they want you to provide more, all you got to do is say thank you. Because a lot of times what we want to do, we want to make excuses, we want to talk back. Nope, thanks for the feedback. That's all you got to do. Here's the thought for that. Allow other people to help you get better. Why is it hard for some of us to allow people to give us feedback? Why is that hard for us? I want to hear some new voices. I love the participation from those select few, but I want to hear some new voices. Yes. Because why don't you listen to them? Why is it hard for us to receive feedback from other people? Black sweatshirt right here. Yep. Speak up for me.
Because sometimes when they'll give us the feedback time, like, hey, you need to run this, we could sometimes think that we're like kind of talking down to us.
So sometimes the feedback, it might feel like the adult or the person, not necessarily adult, is talking down to me. Or it doesn't feel like they have my best interest. It doesn't feel like they actually want me to be better. That could be a possibility. Why else is it hard for us to receive feedback from others? I'm not ignoring you. I just want to, yes, right here.
Because it might be maybe sometimes it doesn't want to something that you don't want to hear.
It could be something we don't want to hear. That goes back to our first one where we said, I want to be better. If we don't want to be better and someone gives us feedback, I'm not going to receive it because we don't want to be better. You got one more for us?
Sometimes the feedback can be from someone you don't like.
Okay. It could be from someone you don't like, which is where trust comes in. For whatever reason, it's a lot easier to take feedback from people we trust versus people we don't trust or we don't like. Very good. All right. Here are the 4 things we talked about today, and then we're going to open up for some questions or some ideas. First mindset, say it with me. I want to be better. Louder, I want to be better. Second one, I will be honest. Run it back, I will be honest. 3, I am trustworthy. I am trustworthy. And then let's say you're in the hallway, you're in your classroom, you're at home, you're in the neighborhood, and someone wants to hold you accountable. Only thing you need to say, 1, 2, 3 is, thanks for the feedback. That's it. That's it. Thanks for the feedback. All right, here's a question for us. Here's a question for us. 2 questions. How will you hold yourself accountable? And how will you let others hold you accountable? Everything we've talked about today leads to these 2 questions. Right now, some of you are struggling to hold yourself accountable by just been paying attention. That's accountability. Hey, I'm out of line. I need to lock in. There's a guest in the house. I need to lock in. There's a guest in the house. My principal told me to focus, give my undivided attention, because that's what we do here. That's being respectful. Don't wait for an adult to correct you. Hold yourself accountable. So, which one of these characteristics, wanting to be better, being honest, being trustworthy, doing a better job at receiving feedback, which one will you start with to hold yourself accountable? Who's going to answer that question for us? Which one are we going to start with? I'll put them back on the screen. Yes.
I want to be better.
What? How? In your mind, why is that important for you to start with, hey, I just want to be better? Why is that important for you?
Because for me, it's hard to concentrate sometimes in class and during my work really.
So it's hard for accountability. It's hard for me to lock in, do my work, do it well, get it done with excellence because I'm distracted sometimes. So you got to say, hey, I want more. I got to be better. Awesome. We'll take 2 more. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. I love that. I love that. She said, I'm going to be honest with myself first. And when I'm honest with myself first, it's easier for me to be honest with other folks. But I can't deal with other folks until I deal with myself first. We call that a hypocrite. I can't hold you accountable without first holding myself accountable. We'll take 2 more. Yes. You said what now? Trustworthy. Why does that one stick out to you? So it's hard for me to be deemed trustworthy because I lie sometimes and I'm not always respectful, doing what I need to do among my peers. We'll take 1 more. Red shirt. Speak up. To be better. Why does that one resonate with you?
So I can understand what I do. So to understand how I do things and to be better at it or to know what I'm doing.
So I first got to focus on what I'm doing and then say to myself, I want to be whatever it is I'm focused on. Awesome. Here's the thing, y'all. All of us have room for improvement, myself included. Your teachers, administrators, every adult in this building, every adult you know, we all have room to improve. You all have room to improve. I don't ever want to act like it's just you all as the little 12, 13-year-olds. No, everybody in this room, everyone listening who will tune in later, the 6th and 8th graders, they have room to improve as well. And I get it. 7th grade is this weird spot because you're not at the bottom of the food chain anymore, but you're certainly not at the top. The 8th graders will gladly remind you that you're a little 7th grader, but your turn is coming. Your time is coming. But right now, you're stuck jam-packed in the middle between 2 grades. Now, any questions that are worthwhile related to what we talked about today for me? We got about 5 minutes. Any questions for me? I'll give you an example. Last time an 8th grader asked, which one do you struggle with, Dr. Griffin? Another question was, which one is easiest for you when we think about leadership characteristics? What question do you have for me? I got time for 2. Yes. I can't hear you. That's not related to this conversation. And see what happened? You were trying to be funny and nobody laughed. That's why I told you to stay on task. Yeah. Which one do I struggle with? Sometimes, and I love what someone said up here, it depends on who's giving me the feedback. It's hard for me to receive it because I live by a code, like a respect code or what's called credibility. So it's hard for me to receive feedback from everybody or just anybody. Sometimes I have to pause and say, you know what? There is some truth to that. I'm going to take it. We'll take one more. Yes?
Why is it good to be accountable?
Why is it good to be accountable? That's a great question. I think when you're accountable, when you can be held accountable, you do all these things. And all these things, in my opinion, make you a great person. When you're someone who wants to do more, when you're someone who's honest, when you're someone who's trustworthy, when you're someone who can collaborate or cooperate with others, that to me is not just being a good leader, it's being a great person. Being a great person. You get a lot of things you want out of life, even when you don't necessarily have the skills. You can have mediocre skills or average skills, but when you are these things on the screen, give me someone who is okay at a job, okay at a task, but they have a heart and a mind to do these things on the screen versus someone who's great at a task, but they don't have these things. I'll take this person every single time. Does that answer your question? Okay. We got one more? Yes. How do we recognize our flaws? So there's this interesting thing that I help adults do a lot, and it's called reflection. Reflection is I'm going to think about what just happened. I'm going to think about who I am. I'm going to think about what that means when I engage with other people, when I engage with my friends. Why did I get mad when the teacher told me to do this? Why did I get mad when my friend said this about me? That's reflection, and that's how we hold ourselves accountable. Okay. This is my email address. 8th graders, as you're listening, I'm still waiting. We got the end of the quarter coming up. Several of you said you're going to get A's and B's. You're going to get straight A's. I'm looking forward to those emails because the first quarter is coming to an end. 7th graders in this room, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told the 8th graders. This is not my contact information for speaking engagements or anything else. It's for you to tell me this is what I've been working on. So for those of us who were courageous enough today to say, hey, this is what I'm going to hold myself to, I'm looking forward to the good news. I'm looking forward to you holding yourself accountable and saying, this is how I became better. That's all I have. Thank y'all.